Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy, Sports and Fitness Rants? I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today. As usual, man, you guys know the deal on this channel. It's all about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, stopping them from rewriting history, man. And in this video, I want to talk briefly about how we don't respect these guys. I have no respect for these guys, man. I don't respect what's going on in the NBA this season, man. The NBA season is a joke right now. It just really is, man. Like, there's really nothing to get behind with these guys. All these guys are injured. They're missing so many games already. And the personalities of these guys, their attitudes, their demeanors is whack, garbage. These guys have no humility. They're all arrogant. They all think they're the greatest at something. It's an absolute joke, man. And we're going to talk about some of these guys that I do not respect and how these are supposed to be, like, you know, the players that are supposed to be uplifting the NBA. And they're not. They're just taking it downhill more and more and more every single year, man. And this is Paul. Remember, you guys remember that slogan, I love this game? Yeah, well, we love the game, but we can't love the game anymore because the players don't love the game. And we're going to talk about in this video, man, the players don't love the game, man. And I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world, everyone across the states that's been supporting my channel. Once again, guys, I am truly humbled by all support, man. Shout out to everybody in the membership that continues to support my channel. Thank you guys, man. We must continue to stand up and hold the standard, man. These players don't love the game no more, man. They love the money and the fame. You guys remember, used to be, I love this game. That was the slogan in the 90s, man. I love this game. That was the golden era. Now, no one loves the game. The fans don't love the game because the players don't love the game. And I want to thank you guys. Like I said, man, for real, man. It means a lot. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, like I said, man, I did that video the other day about how the NBA slogan in the late 80s, they came up with the fantastic, right? The NBA, it's fantastic. And I talked about how they were promoting the fans, right? And they would show the reaction of the fans reacting to the NBA players and a highlight or something that they did, right? And it's about the fans because the NBA was fantastic, man. These guys were out there putting on a show for the fans. So in the late 80s into the early 90s, that was the slogan. NBA is fantastic. But in the early 90s, the slogan transformed into I love this game. That was the 90s slogan for the NBA. I love this game. You guys probably remember that if you remember watching NBA basketball in the 90s. I love this game. And what was that? That was to pay homage to the sport of basketball, right? And how everyone loved the game. That's what it seemed like in the 90s. When we talk about the golden era of NBA, right? And we say, I love this game, and that's the slogan for the NBA. This is what we're talking about, man. It seemed like everyone loved the NBA at that time. And yes, we all know that someone like Michael Jordan brought many, many people to the league, to the game. I told you there were a lot of people that weren't necessarily basketball fans or NBA fans, but they were there to watch the NBA because of someone like a Michael Jordan. But not only because of Michael Jordan, but why? Because of the other great players of that era. As much as they try to tear down the 90s and say that Michael Jordan played against nobody and the league was watered down and it was expansion era, when you think about some of the great players that played in the 90s era of NBA, guys, that's what shows you and highlights why it's referred to as the golden era, why it was so popular. Because not only did you have Michael Jordan, who is the most popular player in the history of the game, and nothing to do with the greatest or anything like that. You could clearly know that Michael Jordan is clearly the most popular player to ever play basketball. Whether you think he's the greatest of all time is irrelevant. The man is clearly the most popular basketball player in the history of the sport. But it wasn't just Michael Jordan. It was also guys like Charles Barkley, the personality of a Charles Barkley, the attitude of a Charles Barkley, the demeanor, but also the on-court game that Charles Barkley had to go with that demeanor, with that personality, with the charisma that he had. So Charles Barkley could bring people in, right? You had guys like John Stockton, right? Now, John Stockton may not be a personality per se, but what people fell in love with John Stockton was his overall demeanor, his grit, his heart, the determination, the toughness that he played with. When you looked at a John Stockton back in the 90s, what you saw was a regular-looking guy, not a huge, imposing, really tall, really athletic-looking guy that you're like, oh, yeah, he's an NBA player. I remember when John Stockton was on the Dream Team, they used to tell, I remember John Stockton would tell a story, how he was wearing, he was walking down with his family in Barcelona, right? And he had a camcorder, he said he was videotaping the experience with his family. And he said that there were, people out there, and, he's an American, obviously. People could recognize him as an American. But he said a lady came up to him wearing the 1992 Dream Team t-shirt with all the players on it, right? And she came up to him and asked him if he was there to watch the Dream Team, right? If he was American, he was there to watch the Dream Team. She had no idea this was John Stockton, this lady. She had no idea he was an NBA player on the Olympic team. She's wearing the shirt with his face. And I remember the video. John Stockton pointed to the picture of his face on the t-shirt and said, "That's me right there. I'm on the team." She had no idea who John Stockton was. John Stockton was one of the very few guys on that team that could walk around in town and no one cared. No one knew who he was. No one recognized him. This is John Stockton, guys. This is why people respected John Stockton. Because even though he was a very indiscreet person, like I said, you wouldn't even know him if he walked down the street. The man played in the NBA for 20 years at one of the highest levels of all time. 82 games every year, playing with the determination, the heart, the grit of a champion, even though he never won a championship. So John Stockton was a very respected basketball player in the history of the game. He was a very well-liked player. And fans, right, they could watch John Stockton's game. And you respected him. So people would flock to the game to watch guys like John Stockton and Karl Malone, right, run that pick and roll. Right? You had guys like Shaquille O'Neal in the 90s who came in with the charisma, the flair, the hype, right? The size, the game. Shaq Diesel, breaking rims down, tearing backboards down when he came in the league. That's the 90s, man. That's part of the reason why people love the game. You had great players. You had the Hakeem Olajuwons out there with the dream shake, with the footwork at that size, the two-way play that's been unmatched. David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, think about the legendary big men that were battling every single night. That brought people into the game. People wanted to watch Patrick Ewing go against Hakeem. They wanted to watch David Robinson go against Shaq. They wanted to watch Alonzo Mourning go against Dikembe Mutombo. Right? You wanted to watch Mark Eaton go against Manute Ball or Robert Parrish battle against Brad Daugherty. Right? You wanted to watch these matchups. That brought in people. I love this game, right? When we talk about the way the game is played today, and we say we don't love the game, these guys don't love the game, and we don't love the game anymore because the way the game is played. Everyone's chucking up threes. Everyone's playing the same style of basketball. Even the athletic freaks, the guys who are supposed to be high flyers and crazy athletes that should be in the mid-range or attacking the paint, Anthony Edwards, these guys are shooting 10, 11, 12 threes a game. No one wants to watch that garbage. Where's the balance? The 90s had balance. That's why we love the game. So you could fall in love with different aspects of the game. You could fall in love with the defense because you had great defenders like Scottie Pippen, like Dennis Rodman. Right? Like Hakeem, like David Robinson, like Patrick Ewing, like Gary Payton, like Michael Jordan. Some of the greatest defenders in the history of the game played in that era. So you could get behind him, but yeah, I like this guy. He plays defense. You could get behind the enforcers like Xavier McDaniel or Rick Mahorn or Charles Oakley, right? Or Robert Parrish. You could get behind some of these guys, the enforcers. Maybe that was your personality. Maybe that's what you liked. The tough guys, the bruisers, and Anthony Mason, right? Maybe you like some of those kinds of guys. The guys that were going to go in there and, like I said, really just, muck the game up and make it a physical game. The P.J. Browns. You guys remember these guys? They didn't back down. These guys played with a lot of toughness, a lot of heart, a lot of grit, man. They were grown men. Maybe you like these great rebounders. So you like guys that hustled on the rebounds. You had some of the great rebounders. And think about some of these names. I'm mentioning some of the same names over and over again because these guys did multiple things great on the court. When you talk about some of the great two-way players in the history of the game, you think about the 90s. You think about Michael Jordan and David Robinson and Hakeem Olajuwon. You think about Patrick Ewing. You think about some of these guys, Gary Payton, some of the great two-way players, Karl Malone, John Stockton, right? John Stockton, between his assisting playmaking and his defense, that's two-way play, right? These guys were out there, man, doing it at a high level, two-way play. We think about some of the coaches and some of the system that they ran, right? How you'd have teams going full court presses and half court traps. They did this all the time. Guys like Lenny Wilkins and Mike Fratello, Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, right? Jeff Van Gundy, Don Nelson. These are some of the coaches, man. George Karl, Rick Adelman. These are some of the coaches, man, that were coaching some of these teams back in the day. These are some great coaches, man. You guys remember Larry Bird coaching in the late 90s? Larry Bird's from the Indiana Pacers. What he coached from like 98 to 2001 or something like that he coached. Remember, he coached them to the NBA Finals. A lot of great coaches out there, man. Hugh B. Brown out there. So you can get behind some of the bounce, right? You had sharpshooters out there. You had specialists. But you also had guys that could shoot the ball, guys who could go in the mid-range. It was a balanced game. We loved the game. We loved the players that played the game because they loved the game. And they showed they loved the game by showing up and going out there and doing their thing. These guys today, not so much. Draymond Green, you're going to get behind Draymond Green? This guy calls himself the greatest defensive player in the history of the game. Dude, you could not shine the shoes of some of the guys in the 90s. You couldn't shine their shoes, man. Draymond Green couldn't measure up to a Dennis Rodman. Because once again, what does Draymond Green do great? Right? He plays great defense. We're going to say he's a great defender. That's literally it. Well, he can't dribble, can't pass, can't shoot. He's not athletic. I mean, what else does he do? He does not a great leader. What else does he do? Nothing. Dennis Rodman, not only was Dennis Rodman a great defensive player, arguably the greatest defensive player. To me, he's the most versatile defensive player in the history of the game from what I've seen, what I've witnessed him do. But he's also a legendary rebounder. Arguably the greatest rebounder, pound for pound, in the history of the sport. Draymond Green ain't nothing close to that. Nothing close to that. So Dennis Rodman wasn't just a defensive player. He also rebounded, which went with his defense. This is what made him such a strong defender, because his rebounding and defense went hand in hand. And he was a much greater athlete than Draymond Green could ever dream to be. Draymond Green wouldn't even be a top 10 defender in the 90s, guys. He's not better than Hakeem or David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Dennis Rodman, Gary Payton, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Jason Kidd. I mean, like, Dikembe Mutombo, Alonzo Mourning. Like, I mean, how is he greater than any of these guys? They wouldn't even get close. He wouldn't even be better than Karl Malone. Could you imagine Draymond Green trying to stop Karl Malone in the post? It's going to get bad down there. It's going to be bad. He wouldn't even be able to stop at Anthony Mason. And that's no disrespect to Anthony Mason, but he's a lesser guy than a Karl Malone. He wouldn't be able to stop these guys. Those are the facts. Those guys were grown men. Draymond Green's a clown. You're going to be able to get behind Draymond Green? Does Draymond Green make you love this game? No. He craps on the past errors to pump himself up. Who does that? You can't shine the shoes of those guys on defense. Not even close. Not even close. Kawhi Leonard, you get behind Kawhi Leonard? The guy's never on the court. As great as he is when he's healthy, that's the key word, when healthy. The guy's making New Balance commercials left and right. I see him on TV all the time, but I don't see him on the court. Load management extraordinaire. The poster child for not getting in the game. Getting all this money, all these commercials, you ain't playing. But we're supposed to get behind and respect these guys? Do you respect Paul George, who's crying and complaining about a no-trade clause coming into this season? He felt disrespected by the LA Clippers organization because they didn't offer him the same contract as Kawhi Leonard, and he didn't get a no-trade clause. Dude, you're not worth a no-trade clause. You're not even worth the money you're getting paid. You should be playing for the league minimum. The league minimum. Who do these guys think they are? The money's never enough. They never have enough money. They always need max contracts. They always need more money. How much money do you need? You should be playing for the love of the game, man. Not for a no-trade clause. Why are you worried about being traded? Because you're never on the court, you clown. But we're supposed to respect these guys and love this game? Kevin Durant. You respect Kevin Durant and what he did for the game? What did Kevin Durant do for the game? For the game. Can someone name me one thing Kevin Durant did for the game? What did he do? He did nothing for the game. Nothing for the game. They celebrate this clown, Kevin Durant, as some most skilled player of all time. The dude can't dribble the ball. He would not make it in the 90s. Yes, he can shoot. That is it. He can shoot the ball. Great for Kevin Durant. Not a good rebounder. Not a good on defense. What else? Not a good leader. What does he do? Not even strong. He ain't tough. He talks down to the fans. He don't even care about us. respect him? Do you love the game because of Kevin Durant? He's done nothing for the game. He's taken away from the game. Him going to Golden State took away from the competitive balance of the NBA. From 2017 to 2019, the game was what? From 2010 or to 2020, the game was what? Super teams. The Miami Heat, the Golden State Warriors, the Cleveland Cavaliers super teams. That's all we got. That's all we got for 2010s. Guys like Kevin Durant, lame, cheating the game. No one respects that clown. He talked down to us, though. Dude, you're a joke, man. You're a joke. Ben Simmons. How about Ben Simmons? You respect Ben Simmons? You love this era because of Ben Simmons? Do you love this game because of Ben Simmons? He makes you love the game, Ben Simmons. The guy who says, hey, people forget, when I'm healthy, I'm a pretty good player. When I'm healthy. Everything with these guys is when healthy. That's all it is for these guys. When healthy, so-and-so is a really good player. When healthy. They're never healthy, though. It ain't like these guys are hurt every once in a while or they miss some games here and there. They're never on the court. Ben Simmons is a piece of garbage, man. This guy's been robbing the NBA. They should sue this man. They should sue him for liability for all that money that he took, and he didn't give a lick of effort out there on the court. He did not live up to the standard. He did not earn any of that money. He robbed those franchises, man. He cheated and lied to them, making it seem like he was an NBA basketball player. These guys play 1 year in college, come to the NBA, and they're worthless. Worthless. Ben Simmons, man, remember, he was supposed to be LeBron James 2.0, and that's what we get from LeBron James. This is what we get from Ben Simmons. You love the game because someone like Ben Simmons, does he make you want to watch the game of basketball, Ben Simmons? That's a joke. All this money, all these skills they said he has, the dude's out there averaging what? A 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 points? Are you kidding me? It's laughable at best, guys. Guy's a joke, man. He's a straight corny dude, man. He ain't a real man. Look at the outfits he wears. These dudes are too worried about going to these, these galas, these, fashion galas. All these guys think they have fashion. You guys ain't no fashion sense. You guys don't know what fashion is. You guys are a bunch of idiots out here wearing dresses and weird, I don't even know these guys out here looking like a traffic cone. Out here looking like just weird stuff, man. But Ben Simmons ain't making you come and watch the game. How about Zion Williamson? Is Zion Williamson bringing you in to watch the game? Do you love this game because of Zion Williamson? Is Zion Williamson bringing people to the game? Zion Williamson never even in the game. He's never even playing. This man's getting paid by the Jordan brand, which I don't understand how the hell this man has not been dropped from the Jordan brand. He's an embarrassment for the Jordan brand. He's getting paid by the Jordan brand. He has his signature shoe. How does Zion Williamson have a signature shoe when he's never on the court? I don't get this. I should have a signature shoe more than this fool Zion Williamson. Does he make you want to watch the game, though? Does he make you love the game, Zion Williamson? He's out indefinitely again with that hamstring. A hamstring? Absolute joke. But these guys are bigger, stronger, faster. Zion Williamson, all the hype coming out of college, all the hype coming out of high school is an absolute joke. He peaked in high school, Zion Williamson. Those are the facts, man. From what I can see, he peaked in high school. Guy's a bum. He's a garbage dude, man. No respect for Zion Williamson, man. He ain't making you love the game. James Harden, does James Harden make you love the game? The way that he's finagled the years, the game over the years, flopping all over the place, wrapping his arm around guys, flailing up in the air to get foul calls. Even to this day, James Harden's getting, 10, 11, 12 free throws a game. It's a joke, man. James Harden will score 24 points, right? And 10, 12 of those are from the free throw line. No one's impressed with James Harden's numbers in this weak, soft era. I'm not impressed with James Harden, man. Does he make you love the game? No. They don't play no defense. He got no heart, James Harden. He's a playoff choker. He talks down to the fans. He don't love the game. Guys always asking for a trade, always asking for more money when he don't do nothing on the court. He's not a winner. These guys not winners. They don't make you love the game. Luka Doncic, does Luka Doncic make you love the game? Remember, he's the one saying that the NBA is soft. The NBA is weak compared to EuroLeague, but meanwhile, he flops all over the court. I don't get these guys. You cry and moan and say that the NBA is weak, it's softer than the EuroLeague, but every chance you get, you're flopping and crying all over the court. It don't add up. Does he make you love the game? No, I'm getting tired of this fool already. Once again, learning from LeBron James. Does LeBron James make you love the game? No, he doesn't. We've talked about him many, many times. He's destroyed the game. He gave us the gimmick era. This is what we have now is a gimmick league, a gimmicks. You have gimmick players. You're out there playing a gimmick league, in a gimmick league. Who respects these clowns? Anthony Edwards. You respect Anthony Edwards? What's he doing out there? Once again, he's out there being lazy. Not playing the defense like that, chucking up 11, 12 threes a game. No one's impressed with Anthony Edwards chucking up 11 threes a game. Not impressed at all, man. Your team is mediocre once again. Where's your leadership? Where's your overall game? They compare you to Michael Jordan. You ain't close to Michael Jordan, man. Not even close. Out there chucking up all those threes. Can't galvanize nobody. And then you talk like an idiot. Anthony Edwards always running his mouth, always talking trash, but he out there on the court, crying for fouls. Does that make you love the game? So I want you to think about some of the guys I read off, the names, and think about how they make you feel. And these are supposed to be the premier players, the premier guys. They're never out there, though. Someone's always hurt. There's always something going on. This is why the NBA is going downhill. And then you think about the commissioner who doesn't know a damn thing about what the fans really want and what their fans really need. He won't hold the players to any standard, even though he shouldn't have to do that. But once again, the commissioner doesn't understand what the fans want. He's supposed to be holding the league integrity-wise, holding it together for the fans. The NBA is supposed to be for the fans. I don't get this stuff. He don't get that, though. And this is part of the problem. The NBA can't market these clowns because they don't have the personalities, they don't have the games. They're never on the court. They're never on the court. Is Joel Embiid doing anything for the game? Is he making the game more popular? Is he making you love this game? No, he's not. He's an embarrassment, man. They're going to say that Rudy Gobert is a great defensive player of this era, the Draymond Greens. Does that make you love this game? Are these guys anything close to Hakeem Olajuwon, or a Michael Jordan, or a Patrick Ewing, or a David Robinson, or a Dikembe Mutombo? These guys can't shine these guys' shoes. Scottie Pippen never won a Offensive Player of the Year award in the 90s. Never won one. And it's not because Scottie Pippen was robbed or he wasn't great enough. It's because of the great era he played in. You're going against Michael Jordan for that award. David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, Gary Payton, Dennis Rodman. These are the great defenders. Dikembe Mutombo. It's a lot of competition there. If Scottie Pippen played in the 2010s, he would have won Defensive Player of the Year almost every year. Draymond Green's winning over him. He would have been going against maybe Kawhi Leonard. That's the only legit Defensive Player of the Year award winner. Not impressed, man. And this is why no one loves the game anymore. You see it all the time. You hear it all the time. I can't watch this stuff. People say it all the time. I can't watch this. This is unwatchable. The All-Star Game's unwatchable. These players are unwatchable. They're unlikable. So not only their games are whack because everyone's chucking up threes, everyone plays the same, but their personalities are such that you can't even get behind these guys and be like, yeah, this guy's game is kind of whack, but I really like this guy, the way he, plays the game and his approach, his mindset. You can't even say that. You can't even say that. These are the facts, man. We used to love the game. And that's why the NBA promoted, I love this game. That was the slogan. You can't do that anymore. Because who loves this game? The players don't even love the game. They don't love the game. And we see it. That's the problem. All we want is the players to go out there, give the effort. We want the NBA to go back to a physical style of game, allow the hand checking and the physicality, allow these guys to trash talk, allow these guys to stare down each other and stop giving technical fouls for all this nonsense, this soft game with these soft players. We don't want that. And that's why we don't love the game. We want the game to go back to when we used to love it, when the players loved it. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.